What's up, and welcome back to our newest episode to Miles Apart. Hello, Matthew. How are you
I'm
doing?
doing great. How are you doing?
I am great. Only that I was kicked out of my lovely living room, and I'm sitting now like a damn idiot on my bed.
The show goes on.
Yeah, as they say, as they say. How are you? Oh yeah, already asked that. Great.
I just want to
Wow.
apologize to the listeners because it is my fault that I have missed another week of podcasting. So it's my apologies. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks of
2 weeks.
yeah, I can't
Yeah.
count, but I had to go on a trip. I
Yeah,
had to
bruh.
go to
People.
I had to go to New York and then I had to go to Tennessee. So
Damn. People's lives were not the same in the last 2 weeks. It was difficult for them. Those poor people.
I know
The three of them who
I
pay
need
attention.
to have some respect for my listeners and my fans.
That's true. That's true. Tell us how. Tell the people what you did in New York.
So I went to Brooklyn with my girlfriend to host my second shoemaking class, which was really cool. Um, Less jitters this time and more chill. It was nice to meet everybody. There was a woman from Italy that came to the class.
She flew
Yeah,
in from Italy.
yeah, it
Bruh.
was crazy.
What?
And she was pregnant. She was
Wow.
pregnant.
Damn. Where was she from in Italy?
I can't remember the name. She was born in the U.S., but her family's all Italian, and so when she was 18, she moved to Italy and just never like moved back.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's crazy. Okay.
but there was a wide range of people. There was a 16-year-old in high school. There was a
Mm-hmm.
dude that was probably in his 60s. Um, my intern was there as well. That was our like kickoff to the summer of him working with me. Was him taking the class so he could kind of learn how to how to do it before.
Did he did he have to pay for the class?
No, he didn't. So that was his payment from me because I don't pay him.
Yeah, maybe explain to the people why you don't pay him, because if you just let that stand, people are going to be like, "What the fuck is wrong with this kid?"
So the way it worked was he was able to apply to get a grant from his school, and he sent me all this information I needed to send it into the school that he goes to. And so I just went on Chat GPT and like had it all type it up for me. Like a full offer letter and all this stuff. But it all worked out and he gets paid from the school, so I don't have to worry about paying him, which is good. Some
That's pretty
extra
nice. That's pretty
hands
nice.
this summer.
So is he like, because you mentioned last time in the episode that you, whenever there's a client approaching you for a project, then you build a shoe. So is he going to help you out with building the shoes, or what is his role?
Pretty much just like an assistant, so he'll cut majority of the leathers and stuff, and then I'll do
Mm.
a few cuts on like for the videos that I record. So he'll do like the bulk of
Mm-hmm.
the cutting, and then whatever I need to cut for the video, I'll just do that like small portion. So he's gonna basically be
Okay.
doing like the hands-on tasks. Um, I don't know how to say that word, but just basically he's just there to do whatever I need him to do. So right now
Okay.
he's literally behind me, behind that wall, and Candace
Mm-hmm.
is my girlfriend is teaching him how to work on these patterns because I made my own patterns and I had to grade them and now I have to just situate them to make them look pretty. But that's what he's going to be doing all day.
Damn, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I dig it.
Mhm.
And going back to your class, the second one, compared to the first one, was it a better experience? Do you think people learned better,
Mm,
or like, can you compare?
I would say way less chaotic because there were two less people in the class and I was just like really nervous going in the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So the second time I just came in and I was like, I know what I'm doing. Um, so there
Mm-hmm.
was that, and we actually finished on time.
Hmm.
So the one,
Which wasn't the
yeah,
case
the
the
first
first
one
one.
so each class was 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. But the last day, I think we finished at like 10:30 p.m. Yeah, it
Whoa.
was a long night.
Yeah, it's a bit late.
Yeah, but it was.
Damn.
It's always cool to make money by flying somewhere and like having people come and like I'm teaching people. That's just so strange to me, but it's so cool that like we live in a world that's
Yeah, it's
possible.
insane.
You
Yeah.
know,
So you've done now two classes in New York. Are you trying to do any other of them in different cities, or are you trying to plan a bunch of other ones also in New York?
I'll probably do more in New York, but I really want to start doing them in Chicago and before I leave, and then if when I leave, when I move, I'll probably move out west, so maybe wherever I am I can like have a bigger studio and then I'll have more sewing machines and whatnot. That would be ideal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Damn. Yeah. We'll be excited to see the future.
And then, so the first week podcast that I missed was because of that. The second week was because I went on vacation it's called Norris Lake. It's in Tennessee. And so basically I was just on a lake for an entire week. And I forgot to bring my laptop, so there's that.
Who goes on a vacation without a laptop? That's my question.
My goal was to literally just like not be on any technology for the entire week, and it was so awesome. I feel
Yeah,
like
I respect that.
so
Okay.
restored, because I'm not always like connected to my phone. I was just like wake up, have breakfast, and then you just go outside and swim and go on the boat and whatnot, and read
Mm-hmm.
your book or whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got to be better than starting your day with your phone in
Hmm.
your hand. Um, how far? So we, for the listeners, Matthew and I went in October of 2022. We also went to Tennessee to go
Hmm.
hiking. Um, that was in Gatlinburg.
Yeah, Gatlinburg.
Was
Yeah,
that?
it's right by. It's
How far?
what is it called? The Smoky Mountains or something like that.
Yeah, Smoky
Yeah,
Mountains. So now where you were is that far away from the Smoky Mountains?
I don't think it was that far. I think it was pretty close to each other. It's kind of crazy though. So
In American standard,
probably American standard.
is it like not too far in America?
Probably.
Okay, so it's still like a 6 hour
Okay,
drive.
no, it's not that far. It was probably like an hour or two away.
Oh yeah, okay, really far,
Yeah.
really close then.
Um, but I came in with like no expectations, so um, the lake is just massive. So obviously I live on Lake Michigan, that is a bigger lake, but um, the lake, like Norris Lake, the one that I went to, was 35,000 acres. So it's really big.
Sounds big, but I have no idea. That's just it's a nice number you got there.
I don't know what Lake Geneva is, so I can't really. Or the what is the lake in Zurich? Lake Zurich?
Yes, so here's Lake Zurich and the one next to Geneva. People outside of that French area call it Lake Geneva, but it's called Lac Léman.
Do
But
you
yeah,
call it that?
it's when I speak in French, it's Lac Léman because not just Geneva. Like there's several cities located on that lake, and there's two countries, and like so a lot of people who are not living in Geneva but at the same lake are like, why would we call it Lake Geneva if there's so many other places around
Mm.
it? So it's basically called in French Lac Léman, but I don't know how like people in like the German speaking part of Switzerland call it Lake Geneva.
Do people at Lake Geneva or even in Lake Zurich, do they go boating like the
Mhm.
people in the US do? Where you have like wakeboarding and you like tie a rope and you have like
Yeah,
skis and
100%.
whatnot.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's really fun.
Um, so I did it. I the first time I went water skiing. So I went with this one friend of mine. His name is Miguel, and you know him. But Miguel is like this ultra talented athlete. Like not for ball sports, but like for like board sports, whatnot. Like put him on a surfboard, he'll surf like a legend. Like it's that type of. It's just like this
Mhm.
natural talent. But so we went to a friend of ours on another lake in Switzerland to go water skiing, and Miguel doesn't know how to ski, so they put him on the water skis, and they're like just like when the boat starts, you have to like build up a lot of strength to get out
Mhm.
of the water. He managed to do that, but then it just looked like his legs looked like wobbly spaghettis, and it was the funniest thing ever. And then it was my turn, and I was kind of bragging to him. I was like, "Yeah, I'm a skier. I know how to do this. Easy peasy." I get out, and I put too much pressure on my body, and I like slam in face first into the water, and I eat like a gallon of water instantly. So I can't say that I'm really good at
Yeah,
it.
I tried to do the water skiing, not this time, but I was in
Hmm.
the US version of Lake Geneva in Wisconsin.
Wait, there is. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, true, true, true. There's also like a town called Lake Zurich,
really?
something like that. But yeah, continue.
Um,
Yes.
I tried it there and I was just terrible at it. It's like really hard to get up and just not enjoyable. But on this vacation we did wakeboarding
Mhm.
and it's way more enjoyable. Although the first day after I finished, I was so sore. It's like when I learned how to do snowboarding when I came to visit you, and then you just
Mm-hmm.
use all those muscles you've never used before, and it's just like pure exhaustion at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, the first time I went surfing, so like when you start surfing, you kind of have to like learn it when the waves have already broken. So it's like
It's like froth.
the yeah, or like the
Hmm.
foam. Um, just to get like a feeling of like getting up on the board. But then the first time you actually paddle out over these waves and like to try to catch these waves, man, that, that was exhausting. After like 1.5 hours, your shoulders, your triceps, biceps, they're
Hmm.
burning. Like and your back is like it's abnormal. But it's good. Felt good.
It's humbling and like also fun experience to try something you've never tried. Because you're
Mhm,
such a newbie,
mhm.
you have no idea what you're doing. You gotta even learn how to. It's like learning how to walk, you know?
Oh, you can't walk?
Very funny.
Sorry. Yeah, cheap shot. Had
But
to.
even after so we got back from vacation, and I've been wanting to join this gym, and it has 3 stories, and it's all like rock climbing, like bouldering type stuff. And so I've been
Mm-hmm.
going every single morning, and it's super fun to just like dive deep into something that I've never really got into.
Yeah, when I visited you last October, I really enjoyed the rock climbing there, and I went a couple of times back in
Hmm.
Switzerland with my ex girlfriend now, and like I really enjoyed it, but I don't know why I never went back. I really need to get back.
Hmm.
It's fun.
I wonder what the
It's a good way of like,
I was just gonna say I
yeah.
wonder how much the monthly thing is for you.
I don't even remember how much I paid for like one entrance. It wasn't crazy expensive, but it's still like something you would like think
Hmm.
about before signing
Hmm.
up. And it's like here it's only like you have a couple of these like walls, and then you have like where you can climb up, and yes, like everywhere they change the courses every couple of weeks or whatnot. But there's no gym or something like that, so I still wouldn't need my
Hmm.
gym membership.
See, mine has full level that with like gym equipment and stuff like that. And then
Mm,
they also have a studio for yoga classes. So they do like fitness classes and stuff. And then also yoga
mm-hmm.
classes if you want to do that too.
That's nice. Speaking of new sports, well, this is not new, but I mean, I use a bike to get from point A to point B. I've done bike trips, whatnot, but I've never been into like cycling, like the
Hmm.
sport of like doing 200 Ks in one day, or I don't know, like 150. Um, but then Netflix shows up and they're like, "Hey guys, we have a new documentary," and everyone jumps on it. And now I'm like a massive fan of the
Hmm.
Tour de France. Like we just discussed this on the phone, but it's insane. Like the strength and the endurance these kids have.
I think it's hilarious because what they do is insane. Like climbing on a bice or like a bicycle like that steep of a incline and all these in the distance
Mm-hmm.
as well is crazy. But then you look at their physique and it's like
Mm-hmm.
their upper body looks like literally twigs.
Nothing. Yeah, it's great. I'm like, you watch this and you're like, I feel like an absolute idiot because I'm like here working out, running, and doing all these sports, and I have no chance. Like they will burn me within
Mm.
5 minutes.
It's really cool.
And like, have you looked at? So I started following some of these kids on or got like cyclists on Strava,
Hmm.
this fitness app, and the average speed is mind blowing. So when I go fast here in Zurich, I'm capable of overtaking cars, which I feel pretty
Hmm.
good about that. So it's like in like the 30 kilometers per hour zones, I can go like 33, 35 kilometers an hour, and I'm like,
Hmm.
see ya. Super, I'm like cool guy on the streets
Which
here.
for reference is like 18 to 20 miles an hour. Yeah, because a 10K is 6
Yeah.
miles. So times that by 3, 18.
Yes, yes. So these guys, when they're like going fast and it's flat, they go like 60 kilometers an hour, which is really fast. That's over 30 miles an
Dude, that's
hour.
like 40.
Yeah. And then when they climb, they still go like, I'm not sure, but I feel like 20 kilometers an hour, like 15, 20, which is just like, and then you look at like the routes that they have to take. It's not just one mountain in a day. It's like three peaks with like over 1,000 meters of elevation gain and like 200 kilometers, and you're like, are you guys like just nuts? Like,
I think it would be one thing if it was just like one race where you start and you finish and the person that finishes wins. But this is literally 3 weeks of them doing it every single day, and they only get like 2 days off.
yeah, when you're watching this documentary, you're like, all right, time to recover, and then you realize, and you're like, no, they're just going to like eat, sleep, and then like do the same again next day.
It's honestly incredible that is even possible.
Well, I don't know if you remember, there was this one guy, Lance Armstrong.
Yeah, he's the American that won like 7. Yeah.
In a row. But
he got caught
he was
doping.
Well, for years he said that he wasn't doping, but then his entire team like admitted that they did, and it was kind of clear. And then for me, when I was younger, I watched Tour de France with my dad, and then after that I was just like, yeah, everyone's doped, like why would I watch this? But now like I found out like the regulations are really, really strict because they had so much issues with it, which is just like even more insane when you look at the stats that they put up. So yeah, now I want to buy a race bike.
I know, I literally so I can't remember if I talked about this before in the podcast, but I bought this bike in 2020, and it's like really nice. So it's kind of for speed, kind of for commuting, so you can do both. But I accidentally may have fallen into the lake with it.
Wait, what?
Did I tell you that?
No! How do you fall with a bike in the lake?
So I was biking with 2 of my friends during college, and it was completely dark. It was like probably 12 or like midnight or 1 in the morning. So, and it was also winter time. So we were biking like right along the lake, and I was just like, guys, like who can get the closest to the edge? And as soon as
Such an idiot.
as soon as I said that, I literally fell into the lake, and they're just like dying laughing at me, and I'm like freezing my ass off because I'm like soaking wet in this freezing cold water, and my bike just like sinks slowly down to the bottom, and so I had to go home obviously, and I came back the next morning and my bike was still there. So
and did you
I went
try
to
get it?
the store and I got a rope and like this kind of like hook thing, and I jumped into the water and tried to swim all the way down and like hook the bike, but it was so cold I couldn't even like swim down there. So then I just kind of like
Oh.
moved the rope and hooked it and I pulled it back up. Yeah,
Oh,
so
so
the
you
bike
have
was
it
in the
again.
water for like 12 hours. And so when that happened, I took the bike into the shop and I told them what's wrong and blah, blah, blah. And they were like, well, there's all these parts that we don't have, and it's COVID, so we can't get any parts right now. Because apparently there was like a bike shortage or something during COVID.
I don't know in the US, but yes, here in Switzerland, many people
Yeah,
started
so there's a
buying
bike
bikes.
shortage and they didn't have any parts, so I kind of just forgot about my bike and didn't use it for like 2 years. So now it doesn't even like switch gears. And my mom took it into the shop and they were like, you need a brand new tire. So we had to wait for that. But once I get that, I will be able to go.
All right. Oh man, if there would be a video of you just falling into that water
There's
on
not-
your bike.
There isn't a
honestly would
video of
pay
me
for it.
falling in, but it's so. I was biking with 2 people, 2 of my past roommates, Elliot and Perry,
Mm-hmm.
and Elliot decides to just pull out his phone and start recording me in the water, and he's like dying laughing, and I'm like reaching for the top because to get back up. I can't even reach because I'm so far down. Like I'm just like struggling to like
Mm-hmm.
swim.
Mm-hmm.
And Perry actually is like comes and reaches down and like pulls me up. So it's like one friend's trying to help me and one friend's just dying laughing, like recording me.
Yeah, I mean, I still thank Elliot for recording that because I need that recording.
One day you'll see it.
Oh God. Yeah, that's something I've never managed to do. Mm-mm. I've ridden my bike into cars. I've had my fair share of accidents, but lake, no, never.
It's a sensation.
Yeah, I bet. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll tell you what is a sensation. Riding your bike in the snow, like snow-covered streets, and I have like a bike with like very
Oh,
tiny,
so you
like
slipped.
thin. Yeah, so I have very thin wheels, and so I had to like cross the street, and so like on the side where I was approaching, the cars were standing because they were like it was like a traffic jam. I don't know, and like the car, like there was a space in between the cars, and I looked at the driver from the car behind, and I was hoping that he saw me, and I was like, yeah, he's just gonna wait, and I can like pass through because I only need to cross the street. And this guy had another idea. He just continued to drive.
Mm.
And yeah, well, on snow you cannot really brake. So yeah, rode straight into this car.
I
Then the dude started yelling at me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
I once like technically ran into a car, but I didn't. So I won't. You know how like typically you bike on the road, like not on the sidewalk.
Yeah, well,
Like
yeah,
you're supposed
yeah.
to be on the road, not on the sidewalk, because the sidewalk are for people that are walking. Yeah,
I know. Yes, yes.
but my friends, they were all like following me, and I was kind of like the lead. And I was like, let's go on the street. But they're like, no, like we're afraid. So we're on the sidewalk. And I'm just like zooming. And you know how like at a hotel, there's like kind of like that half circle where the car comes in so they can like park in the front of the hotel. So this car just
Oh
like
no!
super fast turns right into that like hotel thing, and I like slam on both of my brakes, and I just go, the bike stops, but I keep on going forward, and I just like fly over my bike, and literally my back hits the car because I'm upside down,
Oof, rough.
and then I fall on the ground, and then they get out and they're like, oh my god, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, and then that was it.
Well, at least he didn't
Yeah.
scream at you. That's one advantage, I would say. I do want to talk about something a bit more sad than you driving your bike into the lake.
Okay.
So we're take a moment to think about your inner Zen mode. I don't fucking know. So the other day, so as I don't know if the listeners know, but I am working in journalism, and journalism can be very interesting, but there's one part that is not too much fun, which is that we are faced with horrible news on a daily basis, and bad news sell much better than good news, and we have tried to sell good news, but the people are just not interested. They want to see all the crap in this world. And so my job is mainly, or like part of my job is to browse through the internet, through agency footage, Twitter, rest in peace.
Is Twitter gone?
Haven't you heard about
No.
what happened? Wow.
I was on vacation. I just got back.
Well, this literally happened in the last couple
I
of
have
days.
no idea what happened.
Okay, so Elon Musk bought Twitter a couple months ago, right? And he's been trying to make money without commercializing the platform. Because so a lot of companies, AI companies, what they do is they use Twitter and social media to learn human like language, like written language, and they most of the time use this for free because how are you going to like monetize this? And Elon, of course, had an issue with it. So then he came up with the strategy that now you're only allowed. So like before, you could like scroll on Twitter for like hours, like nonstop. And now I think that was like 2 weeks ago, something like that. They put a cap on. You can only like look at 600 Twitter posts, which sounds like a lot, but like it's easily manageable to reach that within an hour. Easy. If you're just scrolling, yes.
Wow.
So naturally, people are pissed off. So he's like, if you pay the membership, you can look at 6,000 posts a day. So of course, people aren't too happy about that. And then there's like in the last couple of years, there's always been like competitor brands that have tried to like create a similar platform with similar success as Twitter. Just hasn't worked out. But now Meta stepped in and was like, let me handle this. And so they created Threads, which is a brand new platform. It's trying to look like and be like Twitter. It's just gotten released. They released it so quickly that there's actually no like, they couldn't even like how do you say, they have to like, because of privacy issues, it's as of now still forbidden to use it in Europe, like in the European Union. But they're like working on it, and then they like a lot of people are just moving over, and you can actually use the same handle that you have on Instagram, and like you can find your followers and the people who you are following much easier. So people are kind of calling this the end of Twitter. But who knows? I'm just repeating what I've heard.
Sorry, I hijacked your explanation of such horrible news.
All good. All good. Where was I? Yes. So in the good old days, I was scrolling for Twitter, and so I do see a lot of crap, like videos and images from war, from like Ukraine, from Afghanistan, like stuff that I'm not going to describe here, and stuff that I don't want people to see. So I usually, or like journalists in general, behave as a filter for what society reads in newspapers. And so 2 days ago at the office, we had a mandatory trauma prevention meeting. And at first I was like, all right, I'll just go. And it was so interesting. I kind of realized that I have trauma. It's really bad.
So what did you learn about how that affects you?
Well, so I know that since I've seen so much insane stuff that so when you watch like, I don't know, war movies, and you have like these scenes where people get blown up by a bomb or something like that, most of people think that's disgusting, right? I'm so used to this type of footage that I don't mind it anymore. It's not shocking to me. And sometimes when I scroll through like the internet for like in search of a new topic, it's horrible to say, but journalists get excited when they see crazy stuff because we know we're able to sell that. So that's my understanding or like situation of like finding out that I'm brain fucked because of media. So what I wanted to touch upon is that I think there's like different ways of like traumas or like stress levels in different like industries in the world, and I was just wondering, like, I mean, yes, you work by yourself and all that, but I'm sure there's some sort of like issue or like stuff that could become a trauma at some point.
Yeah, I think mine is just the never-ending cycle of social media. Like trying
Mm-hmm.
to post often, and it's just like it feels like a death march at sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
because you make money and you make profit off of like posting videos, but and that like attracts new followers and likes and whatnot. But if you just keep on following that, then what are you trying to achieve? Like, is it for you or is it for like it's just very confusing, and sometimes I feel trapped
Yeah.
in that.
The other, or like in one of the episodes, we talked about that you do receive hate on social media,
Hmm.
which I'm not surprised. Is that something that affects you?
Now I'd say not really, but before when I first started, I'd say TikTok's definitely the worst. Um,
Worse than
yeah,
Instagram?
just because I get way more views on TikTok and people just have zero filter. So it's just I don't know
Yep.
why people just love to post hateful comments because it takes 5 seconds to write. But nobody takes into
Yeah.
consideration it takes like hours to make a video, but it takes like 1 second to comment something, you know?
Well, it's that, and it's also like it's easy to hide in the internet, to like not even mention your name, not even use a
Hmm.
picture of yourself, and then yeah, shit talk someone else, and someone else, like, their feelings are gonna actually be hurt or get
Yeah, I
hurt.
mean, no, I think a lot of people forget when you are commenting on a post or something that somebody actually put the time and effort to make that, and you're actually commenting on
Mm-hmm.
the person, not just like some random video on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
I
true,
I
true.
just learned to literally just don't read anything. All I do is post it. I don't read any comments, and um, my girlfriend is running like my social media now, so she just responds to people, and if she has a question about a comment that's like them asking me a question about my work or something, then I'll just answer it, but I don't have to read through anything.
That's pretty nice though. Do you have to like, um, what's the word? Do you like go, if you see in your comments a really bad comment, do you delete it or like?
Sometimes people will get into arguments, like it would be a long thread of people, of just like two people just like commenting against each other, like, no, you're wrong, like you're stupid, like you're a clown or something. And then yeah, it makes no sense.
What?
It's just like it's not that big a deal. I'm just making a pair of shoes. But yeah, then I'll delete that stuff.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, because we have so in the news company where I work, we of course, I mean, I also get a lot of hate emails and messages. Like, it got so bad that like at some point I had to like actually go to like the police
Hmm.
because it was really bad. Um, but we have people who like go through comments, and then there's certain topics which is so sad. Whenever it's about like the LGBT community or like people of different color, like races, um, any sort of like violence, we have to actually like so we have like a system where we can like where we write the articles and publish the videos and whatnot, and we can like choose if we want to have a comment section or not. And if it's one of these topics, we already know like there's no way we can allow any sort of comments because it's just going to be horrible
Hmm.
ones. That's so sad sometimes.
I don't know why. It's just like the internet brings like the worst out of people that are receiving it, you know? But it's like a small majority. If I'd say like 99% of people that read a news article that you write are just going to like take a news article for as it is, and they're not going to like be like
Yeah.
super hurt by it or whatever, you know?
No, most people don't care. They're like, okay, this is an
Yeah.
article. Easy. Thank you. Not more. But then maybe they'll give you a thumbs up. Maybe they'll be like interesting or like I don't agree with this, but still good argument, still good article. But then you have some people who are like, this guy has no idea what is he talking about, and you're like, um,
Mm.
what?
So, like going forward, would you say that one like the traumatic experience of like doing research and seeing all this stuff, and then also like people um, giving threats to you, does that like entice you to not do journalism or?
Well, it's difficult. I don't think that that's. I think the part of me having to look at stuff that's like just horrible is definitely part of why ultimately I wanna do something else in my life. Um, it's also a very difficult market because like you used to only read newspapers in paper format. So these companies could ask whatever price they wanted and people would buy the newspapers. And nowadays you have to compete with social media and social media is for free. So that's very difficult. And so how do you make enough money? And then now during COVID, we all saw this rise of people not really believing in newspapers anymore. So it's just a very, very difficult industry right now. But yeah, I mean, it has affected me pretty badly. That I am like I've thought about this before. It's just that like when someone tells you this or like repeats this and is like, yeah, that could be seen as a trauma. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Um, Now I'm like, I should maybe change something about it because I don't want to like, man, I don't know, like in 5 years have like some mental health issues
Mm-hmm.
because of that. I really don't want
Well, at
that.
the end of the day, your mental health and everything is more important than you being a journalist, you know, or like that kind of journalist. So
Yeah,
I'm also
yeah, yeah.
interested in if there are any news outlets that are strictly make money off of like social media. Like, because I feel like the old version of the news is kind of outdated. Whereas, like, what if you started a new news thing, like on YouTube or something, and just post it every day?
So there is, yeah, no, there is one of them. I'm not sure if they have a. They don't have an app. They might have a website. It's called Konbini, and then the other one is Brut. They're both French, and then there's another one. It's called This Is Now. I think they're American. Um, I'm not sure if the This Is Now has an actual website, but all of them are very, very active on social media. All of them, like, um, work on different sorts of journalism. I mean, yes, it's an idea of like creating your own news company, but it's just very difficult because you could say I'm only gonna like write on tech, but you still need to have enough people looking at that so you can
Mm-hmm.
pay your bills. And like there's like the question is like how many people are actually gonna look at it. Like for me, in my world, I think tech stuff is super interesting because I read a couple of like tech blogs and I follow like tech influencers. But like to someone, I don't know, maybe you're like using tech, you like the tech, but you're not going to read about the newest smartphone with what camera has it, what battery, and whatnot. And so that's always like the question: how big is your potential like audience?
Yeah, I'm just surprised that news. What do you call them? News. What?
How do what do you mean?
Like, what is the B? What do you call like the BBC? Like, just news company.
News companies.
Um,
News
like
companies.
news media
Media
companies
companies.
haven't benefited from social media as much as they have, or they have, and I just don't pay attention. I don't know. Like, why wouldn't?
Well, they
Why don't they
have.
just
It's
put like the daily news, like the videos that they have, and they just put it onto YouTube, or do they do that?
they
Do
do.
they?
They do.
Or I guess I don't watch
Yes.
them. I don't know.
Man, why does Apple don't like just release AirPods without cables? No, they do, but I think the biggest issue in with media is like with the rise of like it's the same thing with television. Yes, there's still like broadcasting companies such as like CNBC or BBC or what like Fox News, whatever. They still exist because people still want to watch that, but a lot of people still like or kind of prefer to go on Netflix or like Disney Plus or whatever you want to watch on or like YouTube and watch that specific content at
Hmm.
that exact time and maybe pause it, maybe like skip an episode and don't have commercial. And that's the biggest issue. And with media, it's like people are like generally interested what's going on in the world. So it's I think it's important to have journalism, but it's just difficult to find out because some people are still very interested in paying subscription based newspapers such as like the Washington Post or New York Times or like other examples from Europe. And then you have people who are like, no, I don't want to pay for like the news, and then they'll read like other newspapers like the BBC or like other ones. I was thinking of others outside of Switzerland. And so like that's the biggest question that they have to face. How can you make so if you're free, like if you're non like not if you don't have a subscription based system, how are you going to make money? Is it only with commercials? But like video, people still don't like when they read, like if they want to consume news, most of the time they still prefer
Hmm.
reading it. And so like do you still continue doing video? What kind of video do you do? How do you use video? Like it's a very big question, and like I think there's only a handful of examples of news companies who are actually doing a really good job in implementing the new technologies. I think the best example is the New York Times, because they found like a way of like they have so many different subcategories. So like they have like their cooking channel for like people who they give you like the best recipes of the day or like stuff like this. And then they have like all the international stuff. They have like politics stuff. Then they have like so many different podcasts and like, but like they have a name. They have like experience, and it's difficult to do the same thing because you can't just like copy them.
I think one thing, because you were talking about Netflix and stuff like that. One thing for news is they could do more of like a documentary style, like longer on things. Because I
Mm-hmm.
would much rather watch something like that and understand it like that than read an article or something. So it's kind of like I knew of the Tour de France and I didn't pay attention. And if I just pulled it up on the TV before watching the documentary, I would have just been like, this is really boring. They're just on bicycles going fast. I have no idea what's happening. But if you make a documentary on it
Yeah.
and post it on Netflix and then I watch it all, then I like understand the gravity of the Tour de France and you know
I agree. um, but at the same time, working in media, I know why no one does it because Netflix can take a year. They film it for like they filmed last year's Tour de France for 3 weeks, and then they had like 6 or 7 months to edit it, and that's why Netflix shows are always so damn good. Like from edit and like audio and like visual standpoint, and like news companies, like they don't have the budgets, they don't have the time, and like you're not gonna be like we're gonna film something and we're gonna release it next year.
Mm.
Like how are you gonna make that money? You still need to make money in the meantime. And like yes, there is like news companies do like they still do documentaries, but like the best example is Vice. Did great documentaries. We all love them. They
Mm.
weren't bankrupt.
I feel like the problem
So
with
that's
news
like
is it has to be kind of immediate. So it's like how do you make the
yeah.
production quality better? Like how do you make it like more interesting to watch? Because it takes a long time to make something look better.
Yeah, it's just like the hardest part, and then you like I don't know. Let's say I don't know. Let's say something crazy happens tomorrow somewhere in the world, and most of the times you only get like videos from people who were there, like normal civilians filming it. Of course, you're not gonna get the greatest quality in videos or pictures. Only when like something is anticipated, then agencies go there with like pro video with videographers and photographers. So that's like the other big question: how do you manage to get
You
like
need
these
to hire
images?
10 people in every single country as photographers and videographers.
Okay, then you have one guy in the U.S. He's gonna be located in New York. What if something happens tonight in L.A.? He can't know. There's no way he's gonna be
You
there in
get every
time.
single
He's too late.
person in Iron Man suit.
Why not just ask
Or all
Captain
you need to
Marvel?
do is give every single person one of those new Apple thingies. Yeah, and so
Vision
like
Pros?
anytime there's something bad happening, you just record and then you see it.
I like the idea, but imagine our society, everyone walking around with like AR VR goggles.
It looked like one of those movies where like everyone's
Yeah,
in like a futuristic. Yeah.
Ready Player One. Yeah, I mean we touched upon that in one of the last episodes, but I don't think that that's the way AR VR goggles are gonna look like in the next 5 years. They're gonna drastically look different.
It's gonna be a lens in your eye.
Well, I think the next versions are gonna be like small glasses, just like the Google glasses years ago, but just the Google glasses were too like way too early. No one had a usage for
What if I
them.
don't wear glasses?
Context?
But
Contacts, not context.
what if you don't like if you don't wear contacts and you don't wear glasses and your vision's already good, like would
No, you can just put one in there with a
no, I know,
computer
but how
in
many
it.
people are gonna want to do that? Like put in a contact if they don't know how to do that?
Okay, wouldn't you do that?
No, no way.
Yeah, I'm the same. I would never do that. I'd be the
No,
first
I
idiot
would
to do
not.
it.
Because then they see everything you're doing and stuff.
Okay, you don't have to like wear it when you're going to sleep,
I don't know.
but already your computer and your phone and like the Apple Watch or all these devices, they all see and hear what we do
That's true,
already.
but I'm trying to get it away from it. I'm getting a flip phone.
Sure, yeah. It's gonna be difficult to FaceTime, but it's fine. Oh man. Oh, we got something.
What?
Our hack of the week. Yeah, we've gotta finish strong with this one.
You first.
Do you have anything or like tip of the week, hack of the week? Shit. Man, like I really thought this would be a great category to implement in the podcast, but so far we've been really weak with the things we came
My
up with.
tip of the week is to find a workout or an exercise that you really like to do, and that will really motivate you to wake up early in the morning to do it.
I can't say anything because the last time I said you can work out everywhere. So darn it, that's a good one. But
because
yeah.
I signed up for my rock climbing membership or whatever, and ever since I've woken up at like 5:25 in the morning to like go.
Man, we're different in that aspect. If I don't have to wake up at 5, I'm so happy. I hate waking up.
It's so nice. You get back and you're already showered. It's like 8 o'clock.
Okay, but I don't wake up at 5 a.m. to go rock climbing. I wake up at 5 a.m. to go working, and I don't come
That's what
home
I'm saying. I'm saying
so,
wake
yeah.
up to go, like, do an exercise. Like, if you like to go cycling, then wake up early and cycle and then see the sunrise.
Darn it, now I need to find a good hack.
You're so wise with your words.
All the ones that I'm thinking about are just crap. They're so bad. Oh, darn it. Good one.
Totally random, and I'm going to stall to allow you to think a little bit. But So for reference for the listeners, I'm going to visit you in September, and I'm also going to Paris, and I booked the train ticket from Geneva to Paris, and it was only like $30.
Was the train called TGV
I don't
Lyria?
know why.
Because I have a feeling you took regional train connections.
3 hours.
How long does it take you?
Yeah,
$30?
I think it's because I ordered it really early.
That's
Yeah.
nuts. That's crazy.
So another tip of the week:
So you got all your other...
buy.
No, you can't. That's mine. You can't just take all my good ones. Oh. Okay. This is another very obvious one. This is not a hack of the week. This is a hack of a month. Stay consistent with your workouts because you're going to get better. Man, but I'm seeing this. Like, I've been. So ever since we made this little bet to like do the ultra marathon together, I've been trying to train. You know, like, so now the leg workout has become a bit different. It's like you have a goal, so you work for that goal, and I have this one route that I love to like run up the mountain, and then you like do a little loop, and then start doing like interval training on it. Intervals trainings on it, and man, like compared to the first time, I must be like 10-15 minutes faster. It's insane.
So when are we doing said race?
But that's only next
Oh,
summer.
okay.
Yay! No, not this year. Just like chill out. I'm not, this takes preparation. You know, I can't just like do it like
Or I
this.
could just I
although
could sign us up for a race in October when you come. No, we'll run the Grand Canyon.
how many kilometers is that?
It's 22 miles and a 5K is 3 miles. So 22 divided by 7. So it's like 37 kilometers.
Okay, then we do it twice. So we have an ultra marathon.
That'd be a really tough ultra marathon.
Oh, it's like not in the canyon. It's like going up
Yeah,
and
you
down.
start from the top of the rim and you go all the way down. And then you go all the way
Oh,
along
shit.
the bottom and then go all the way up. It takes like a full day.
I think I need to do. Oh, okay. I need to do by the end of the year. I need to do a marathon.
You better sign up for one now.
Yeah. Yes. I don't want to do one in the summer because I know I would.
No, like the
collapse.
best time to do a marathon is like October, November. Because then it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Agreed. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I know what to do now. All right.
Next podcast, we will go over Melchior planning his marathon.
Oh, this is great. This is so great. You know, a couple of months ago, I was just like, I like running here and there. And now I've been talked into running marathons and ultra marathons.
And I haven't been running a lot, so I need to get back on it.
Have you started the calisthenics workout?
I actually need to because I'm starting to do rock climbing, and that would actually be very helpful.
Yes. So my goal, so this has been established a couple of weeks ago to myself. Like I've set this goal
You're
to
just
myself.
in the mirror, just like telling yourself this goal.
You can do this. By the end of the year, you will succeed. No, so I told myself by the end of the year, I want to do a handstand push-up.
On the wall, or just like you're balancing yourself? Wow.
Floating. Like handstand, and then you go down, and then you go up. I've come close-ish. I will admit, I've once like went down with my head, and then I didn't have the strength anymore, and then my body just slammed on the ground, which was not great.
That's funny.
But we're working on it. It's just annoying. I can't listen to anything when I'm doing that because I tend to sweat a lot during these workouts, and my AirPods just pop out. There's no way. There's absolutely no way.
I would love to see you do a handstand push-up when I come visit you on top of a mountain.
In
Yeah.
September.
We'll get a video.
Ugh, I'll be one of these like gym guys who's only posts about their gym lifestyle on Instagram. They'll be like, "Oh, today I did 3
Yeah.
hours of lifting." Yeah, no. End of the year. If I can do it by September, that would be amazing. I just don't feel like that's gonna happen. Maybe an L seat I can do by the end of
I
by
don't
September.
even know what that is.
Basically, you hold yourself like you put your arms on the ground.
Oh, and
you
your legs
hold,
are out?
like all your weight, and then your body's like upper body's this, and then your legs are like in the air. That I can nearly do.
You're getting there.
So it's not. Yeah, it's crazy though. Like at first, when you start doing this, you're like, I mean, that's what I meant with my great hack. Is like at first you have like zero strength, and you're like, shit. How am I going to manage to do any of these exercises? A couple months later, you're like, oh, okay. I'm seeing the transformation.
You need to send me the workouts so I can do them. I know you already did. Send it to me again.
Yeah, I'll do it again. I'll send it to you 50 more times if that's what it takes. By the end, you'll hate this guy, though. His name is Chris Heria. You'll hate him So, I need to say this for the listeners. So, this guy, he's like... I think he's like a former world champion in calisthenics. Like, this dude is insane. And he has like... I think he has gyms and clothing company, like whatnot, anything. And he has like hundreds of workout videos, and they're really good. And then like he has these like routines that go like 10 minutes. And after each one, like the first couple of times you do that, you're like after one of these like 10-minute workouts for a specific muscle rate like group, you're like cooked. You're like, I can't do anymore. He looks into the camera and he's like, all right, if you want to get the most out of this workout, you have to do this 3 more times. And you're like, huh? What? And you start doing it the second time, you're like, nope, I quit after the first exercise. But, like, it's going to be great. Trust me.
Maybe I'll do it tomorrow morning.
Whenever he says that. Yeah, it's a really good one. All right. Should we bring this amazing episode to an end?
It was a pleasure for the 3 people listening. Yeah.
To finally hear us again. Their life have like a meaning again. All right. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. And
Peace out.
Thank you for listening.